Now, with some of the stuff that we're talking about, it's easy to kind of take an outside in approach without recognizing that a lot of the underlying immune system stuff comes from the gut. And so
Right.
70% of the immune system is from the gut. 90% of the serotonin in the brain comes from the gut. So the gut integrity is so stinking important, and it's oftentimes completely neglected. And so the integrity of the gut with leakiness of the gut, and you hear more of that, and you might hear that term intestinal permeability, like that's the very similar term to what we're talking about. But the gut has got to be protected and also has to be repaired.
Mhm.
And so talk to me more about the IgG product and just the idea of what is an IgG and why is that necessary?
Yeah. So serum IgG powder is the one you're referring to, correct? I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is a product I take every day. I take it with my Inflammabalance. Those are two things that you can easily kind of just mix together. But when you're speaking of gut health, you're usually thinking of three things. You're thinking of reducing inflammation, which again, you'll see from the product we talked about earlier, the Inflammabalance. You're obviously thinking about some type of probiotic for your gut to create some stability. Ebiosis is the term that lots of people like to use. But the third thing that I think is talked about less is the sweet spot of where serum IgG is or where it fits into that picture. And it reduces inflammation within the gut lumen in a different way. And the mechanism of action of serum IgG powder is its high dose IgG antibodies. It gives you passive immunity, but what it does is it binds to whole bacteria and fragments of things like endotoxins that are released from bacteria when you kind of disturb that environment. But because it can bind to these toxins, it creates something called steric hindrance, which means stopping a reaction from happening. And
Mm.
it creates these immune complexes that are so large that it can't get through that gut wall. It can't reach into your blood to start causing systemic inflammation. You basically just excrete it through your colon and through your stool. And so it's a great product that serves as a gentle binder in some ways within your gut lumen to support both adaptive and innate immunity, really.
Yeah, I think of this one of like the colostrum, the newborn colostrum, like the first food. This
Yeah.
very similar, yes.
Yeah, so there's two different types of IgG antibodies in the market. There is colostrum, which is also IgG antibodies. You get other growth factors and some other things in colostrum, but there is a dairy component to that. So some providers, if you don't have a dairy sensitivity, they may suggest something like that. Serum IgG powder is from Serum. And so there's no dairy component to it. And the other upside is it's more concentrated with IgG antibodies than what you would get from a colostrum product. So it's a stronger product.
Hmm. Yeah, which is so important for the overall immune system.
All
Um,
right. Yeah.